whenever that little light-skinned came in the league, that's in Golden State, he changed that whole narrative. He did. He single-handedly changed the no lead is safe.
It's gone!
Kobe all over Steph. Steph said, wait a minute here. No,
there's a serious calmness about him, which is extremely deadly.
Here's Curry for the record. It's good! There it is! Stephen Curry!
It's a different game, obviously, but Steph made it a different game.
And for him to be that small, but he can shoot from almost half court.
From half court. It's going! Bang!
What has gone into the making of becoming, in my opinion, the greatest shooter of all time?
Curry, another steal. A Smith. Good effort. Back into Curry again. And he banked it in! Banked into three, looking for a foul.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter God has ever created.
Oh, shoot! That's foul.
The all-time leader in three-point field goals made, a four-time NBA champion, a two-time MVP, the greatest shooter in the history of the sport. Steph Curry literally changed the way that the game of basketball is played. October 12, 1979, Boston Celtics guard Chris Ford makes the first three-point field goal in NBA history. At the time, the league were only trialing the three-point line. A single-year-long trial, and that should have been all, because many involved in the game looked down on the shot, thinking of it as a gimmick, a novelty, something cheap to get the fans excited. You see, in the late 1960s, the American Basketball Association adopted the three-point shot in order to give their games an edge over the NBA's more traditional matchups. The NBA was the established gold standard in professional basketball. The ABA was the loud and colorful up-and-comer.
Remember, it's only in the ABA that you get an extra point for sinking that long shot, making for some exciting dead-eye shooting in clutch situations.
The 60s and 70s had been defined and dominated by big men, the likes of Wilt, Kareem, and Bill Russell. Their eras were over, though, and with the three-point goal line came change. This change opened up the floor, and it opened the door for a new generation of basketball talent. By the mid-'80s, the three-point shot was a valuable asset on every NBA team, and by the '90s, the league had a selection of players who were famous for their beyond-the-arc capabilities, players who were valued and celebrated solely for their long-range shooting. This was the era of the three-point specialist. Players like Glenn Rice, Dennis Scott, Steve Kerr, and John Starks made their names from the three ball. They were joined by another sharp-shooting legend, Del Curry. In 1988, Del had a son. He likely had no idea that his son, little Wardell Stephen Curry, would grow up to leave dear old dad in the dust when it came to the three-point game. The evolution of the three ball began long before Steph's arrival in the league, and by 2012, its impact was undeniable. That year, NBA teams shot an average of 18 threes a game. Compare that to the average in the early 80s when teams shot less than 3 attempts a night. One of the innovators of this new offense was the 2009 Orlando Magic, led by the incredible force that was Dwight Howard. Prime D12 was a monster in the paint, a player with no equal on the court. What the Magic did to enhance Howard's game, though, was they gave him the space by surrounding him with excellent three-point shooters. In January of 2009, the Magic set a new NBA record by making 23 threes in a game against the Kings. 9 different players scored a three that night. The record is long forgotten now because 23 isn't even high enough to make the top 10 today. The current record of threes made in a single game is 29, and it belongs to both the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, who hit the marks in 2020 and 2024 respectively. When Steph entered the NBA, the game was slowly transforming to suit his game. In 2013, Steph Curry led the NBA in three-point scoring, something he's done a further 7 times since. He set an NBA record for most three-pointers made in a single season. He's now broken his own record twice. At the time, this seemed like a natural evolution of the shot. More and more teams were building lineups with the three-point shot in mind. What Steph was doing, though, was shooting with a level of efficiency that was hard to believe. Curry wasn't just a catch-and-shoot specialist from beyond the line. He could create his own shot, and he could shoot from seemingly anywhere. Nowadays, it's somewhat normal to see the likes of Damian Lillard put up a three from way beyond the arc. Before Steph Curry, this simply wasn't done. It was the kind of behavior that would get an NBA player sent straight to the bench, all because such a shot is inefficient and unreliable. With the help of data analysis, Steph proved that the three ball could be one of the most consistent shots in the game, in the right hands, of course. In 2014, Steph made the NBA All-Star team for the first time. He was already famous for his shooting abilities, but he was starting to cement himself as one of the best players in basketball. In 2015, Steph did just that. He was named the NBA's MVP, and he led the Golden State Warriors to their first NBA championship since the 70s. It was clear that from Steph's play, along with a team-wide emphasis on three-point shooting, that the three ball was king. An NBA title just confirmed it officially. It was no coincidence that the Warriors head coach Steve Kerr was a three-point specialist himself when he was a player. The old Orlando Magic playbook of space and shooting was taken to the next level with the Golden State Warriors. They had Andrew Bogut as their big man, and their offense came through with Steph, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Harrison Barnes, each one an exceptional three-point shooter. Steph and Curry earned their Splash Brothers nickname by breaking the single-season record for the most threes by a pair of teammates. The fact that the record they broke was their own just further solidifies how much emphasis this team puts on the three-point shot. The Golden State Warriors were the champions because they were the ultimate three-point shooting team. No one in the league could keep up. The following season, Steph Curry became the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. He led the league in scoring, steals, free throw percentage, and three-pointers made. He joined the 50-40-90 club and did so while averaging 30 points a game. He's the only player to ever do this. The Golden Boy and his signature three-point were the undisputed kings of basketball. That season, the Warrior bagged the most wins ever in the regular season with 73. One win more than Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls recorded back in '96. Steph was unstoppable, and so the only answer for the rest of the league was to follow suit. Let's go back to that 2012 league-wide average. NBA teams shot an average of 18 three-pointers a game. After Steph's MVP awards and a few NBA championships, the NBA average, reached a staggering 29 threes attempted per game. In the 2023-24 season, that number was 35.1. The same growth can be seen with some of Steph's biggest rivals, too. LeBron James attempted 448 three-pointers in the 2021-22 season, over double the number he attempted as a rookie back in 2003, despite taking fewer field goal attempts overall. Almost every NBA player's game changed in order to keep up with or combat Steph. Young players with dreams of being basketball superstars are no longer emulating the dunks and jaw-dropping layups of Michael Jordan. They're practicing the three ball. In December 2021, Steph Curry cemented himself as the greatest three-point shooter of all time. He scored his 2,974th regular season three ball. He passed the all-time record held by Ray Allen. Ray Allen is a legend and was formerly regarded as the GOAT when it came to beyond the arc shooting. He relinquished that crown to Steph unofficially, at least years prior, but with Steph passing out to take the number one spot on the list, there's no longer any room for debate.
So on a night when he broke the record, the sum of both teams' three-point attempts was kind of a testament to Steph's impact on the league, too. Well, it's a different game, obviously, but Steph made it a different game.
Curry's game hasn't just advanced outside shooting and earned his team an unimaginable amount of accolades. It's also turned into cold, hard cash. Back in 2010, when the baby-faced assassin was finding his way in the league, the Golden State Warriors were worth an estimated $450 million. As of 2024, they're valued at $8.2 billion. The Warriors are now one of the most valuable sports franchises on the planet, and it's because of Steph Curry. Curry continues to wow fans with his seemingly unlimited range. His jerseys continue to fly off the shelves. The greatest shooter in the game continues to break records. The game that Steph Curry entered all those years ago wasn't an environment perfectly set up for him to thrive in. Steph didn't change his game to suit it, though. Instead, the chef cooked up a change in the game itself, and the NBA and the entire sport will never be the same again. Which NBA player do you think had the most impact on the way the game is played? Let us know your pick in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, and subscribe.